This man is Eric Leedy, aged 92. I haven't seen him for a little while. He came to Iraq with us as a human shield back in 2003. Eric, why are you here today?
Why are we here? Why are we here?
Yeah.
If you don't know, if you don't know, you'll never know. Now, if you don't know, you'll find out soon, I hope.
The entire subject and focus of the trial has become, you exposed war crimes and we don't like the way that you did it.
Come on, fire.
We're gonna shoot the messenger. They're sending a message. This is what will happen to you. You're gonna go to jail for hundreds of years, and they're dragging him all the fucking way to the US to put him in jail because he showed the US for what it really is.
Clear. Come on. Clear.
And you claim you're anti-fascist, really? You're anti-tyranny? Yeah, show me, man.
At every stage, the law has been abused in order to victimize Julian. He has been silenced. He has been disappeared. Those who committed the war crimes or responsible for those war crimes have not been held accountable.
Julian publishes through the courage of Chelsea Manning.
Julian is in prison because WikiLeaks is a publisher that specializes in the secrets that states keep the most hidden. Julian revealed war crimes by the US government, the world's superpower, in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the fact that it had normalized, institutionalized torture. This assassination plot was as revenge for what WikiLeaks had published. This is a country plotting to assassinate a journalist because of what he has published. Julian has done nothing wrong, and the prosecution against Julian is the single greatest attack there has been on the First Amendment, and that is Trump's legacy. Julian is not a US citizen. He's an Australian citizen who was working as a journalist in the United Kingdom. He owes no allegiance to the US government. Since the 11th of April 2019, Julian has been inside Belmarsh High Security Prison, which is the harshest prison in the UK, known as Britain's Guantanamo Bay. It's also a difficult struggle for him mentally. Julian suffers from clinical depression. He has all his adult life. I have 2 children with Julian. They are 3 and 4. Our eldest was born when Julian was still in the embassy in 2017, and he would go to the embassy to visit Julian. We kept it secret so a friend would come in, posing as his father.
That is the danger posed by the US prosecution of Julian Assange. And I have to say that the time for fence sitting has run out. Colleagues, this is our last chance for a say on this case. If Assange is surrendered, he's gone. How can we talk about rule of law and not resoundly condemn this criminal prosecution and demand his release?
Across the country, we've learned there's so much support in America from normal Americans for Julian Assange. We've moved all the way up the East Coast from Miami through DC, Washington, Philadelphia.
All right, so we're outside Merrick Owens' house for a vigil. Really good turnout so far. This is right across the street from his house. So he can see us. He's home, apparently. He can see us. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Free Assange. Free
Hi.
all political
Free
prisoners.
Assange. We're live on A4A.
Really important thing is that if this goes ahead, if this extradition and persecution of Julian Assange goes ahead under the auspices of the Espionage Act of 1917, if that goes ahead, then every news outlet, publisher, publication and journalist can face the same prosecution for any comment whatsoever that the United States Department of Justice doesn't really like, or Washington finds obnoxious or not to its taste.
I just want to say this. Until Julian Assange is free, none of us are free. The fight for Julian Assange's freedom is the fight for our freedom. The freedom to expose the lies of government. The freedom to expose war crimes. And the freedom to tell the truth. Orwell has been credited as said journalism is printing something that power doesn't want printed, and everything else is public relations. Well, every day Julian Assange is in prison. That is a mockery of our society's supposed commitment to freedom of speech and freedom of the press.
There are so many people here that really care about this case and care about their First Amendment rights.
I
mean,
know he
people
can.
allege that I'm Glory Jones Dingo, but I'm just an anonymous personality, you know?
Yeah, I don't know who Glory Jones is. I've never met Glory Jones.
Yay! Thank you to Joe. Thank you to Joe who made that. You can follow him on Twitter at STFU shitlib. So at shut the fuck up shitlib.
He doesn't miss.
No, and he was awesome enough to do that. And he nailed. Like that's kind of exactly what I had in my head. I was just, I thought we needed an intro.
The fact
video.
that they have W doing his little dance with Ellen is just fucking chef's kiss shit. It's so good.
And he opened it with my guy Eric Levy, and he gets so much. So you guys know I love me some Eric. So Joe gets mad points for leading the video off with our guy Joe, or our guy Eric. That makes me happy. That made me very happy. So
is Eric in the hospital right now?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
It's not. I mean, I don't mean to start it off like really depressing, but it's. I mean, he is 94. It's not looking great. It's not looking great. So it makes me very sad. But
if anyone is gonna pull it out, it would be if anyone's got the
yes,
you know, fire to do it. That
For
man
sure.
is just a force of nature. Seriously,
I would really like Eric to see
amazing how much he's done.
Julian Assange free.
Yep.
I would really like for Eric to get to see that. I would really like for that to happen. Please, Pretty Patel. Pretty, please.
So I actually have a pretty cool call to action. I'm trying to get graphics made up for it, but I'll drop it in the chat because I think it's fun.
I can get you graphics made, dude.
I know. I already emailed the guy.
Oh, okay.
I gotta do this the long way. But so I was playing around and I found everyone's going high with Pretty Patel, like Amnesty International and like all of these people are like those big institutions, right, that are supposed to be doing the right thing. But I found Pretty Patel's basically the elected officials underneath her at like the district level and
the more local level,
all of that, within her political party. So I'm going to drop that link into chat and drop an email into chat. But this website literally has all of the counselors underneath her that are basically like the people that have positions of power directly under her in her district, like within her constituency. And it lists each one by actual area. So I'll drop that in there for anyone that's interested in going in and emailing those people.
Can you put it on the screen? Do you have like a list? Can you
I just sent it to you in Element. There is a list in
okay, dude, come on. I don't know what I'm doing here, so just chill. Hold on.
I'll drop it in the private chat.
It's been, I apologize, everybody. It's been a very long time since I've had to run StreamYard. And so I'm like noob again. And I'm already terrible at tech stuff. So, and it's been a long time since I've been on camera. I really have no idea what the fuck's going on right now, for being honest. Okay,
you're not wearing your mask. That doesn't help. Your anonymous mask.
Okay, yeah. I still need to show that on camera. Magnus really crushed it. Seriously, it's one of the coolest things. I mean, don't tell him because I don't want him to get a big ego, but it's one of the coolest things that I own.
What is it?
The anonymous mask that
green up right there.
Okay. Yeah.
Magnus painted that. It's got the WikiLeaks what the fuck is that called? Hourglass on the side. It's very cool.
That is cool.
Here we go.
Do we want to do numbers as of today while we wait for David to hop in?
Yeah, here's the, did that come up? Okay, here's the list. It's a lot though. You do need to get some graphics.
So just pick your people. Maybe some start at the top, some people start at the bottom, some people go into the middle. But this is literally all of the people in positions of political power directly underneath this woman. Okay. So it's not Amnesty International or people from the outside of the UK's political process that we are reaching out to. It is the people directly underneath her in the chain of power.
But still contact Amnesty International and and the Department of Justice and the White House and who else? Oh, Rand Paul's a good one right now. Rand Paul's been on tirade about free speech and how much he loves free speech, but he hasn't said a word about Julian Assange. So pressure Rand Paul. I mean, really, dude?
Get his ass.
Yeah, it's annoying. Your dad supports Julian Assange openly and vocally. I know you know better. Quit being a coward. Do the right thing. Stand up for what
I
you
love saying it like your dad supports this. Hey, Rand, your dad supports this stuff.
Write a diss song. Write a diss song, Jesse. Write a diss song and include that line. Your dad. That would be amazing, actually. That would be so funny. Yes, but come on, seriously, what is he doing? I don't understand what he's doing. I don't understand what he's doing. We don't have
Everybody's
time
doing it, nerd. Come on.
Yeah. Get in, loser. We're going to save press freedom.
Oh,
we're already off
I
track.
missed this.
I know. We're already off track. Andrew, do the numbers.
Do the numbers.
Do the numbers.
So we have 4,194 days of illegal and arbitrary detention for Julian Assange. It's been 1,147 days since the WikiLeaks founder was trafficked from the Ecuadorian embassy after being sold to the US and UK for a $4.2 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund to the nation of Ecuador. It's 511 days since District Judge Vanessa Breitzer's January 6, 2021 ruling denying Julian Assange bail after personally ordering his release on January 4th, 2021. We have 1,742 days of inhumane pretrial detention for the alleged Vault 7 whistleblower Joshua Schultz, and at least 1,714 of those days have been spent in special administrative measures. We have 1,146 days since the political persecution of Ola Bini started at the hands of the Ecuadorian government. We have 355 days since Commander X was illegally taken from Mexico in rendition to the United States. We have 427 days since Daniel Hill pled guilty to a single charge under the Espionage Act, and 233 of those days have passed since he was put in the Communications Management Unit at the Penitentiary Marion in Southern Illinois. We have 183 days free for Craig Murray. We have 352 days free for Reality Winner. We have 810 days free for Chelsea Manning. And we have 560 days free for Jeremy Hammond.
It's a lot of days, you guys. That is a lot of fucking days. I'm just exhausted today. Somebody in the chat asked how they can write to Julian. So I'm gonna put the address up on the screen. Maybe I am. Okay, did that come up? Yes. Yeah.
Yep,
okay. That's okay. There's the address for you to write to Julian Assange. I have no idea if he's getting his mail, how much of his mail he's getting. We really have no idea. But right. I'm gonna ask because it's curious that nobody's gotten a return letter, right? I mean, that seems a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know if they would actually let him at this point.
I know. I just like it to me because I've been kind of we need to start demanding that we can see and or hear from him, both preferably. But he has been subjected to psychological torture for over a decade. He's been essentially in solitary confinement in a maximum security prison for over 3 years now. So I would like to see and hear from Julian Assange and make sure that he had a mini stroke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think we should be able to see and hear from him to be sure that he is okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm just saying. As Stella said, they're trying to disappear him from collective consciousness. So we need to start again. I'm wondering why there's no pressure for that. We should pressure for that. I would like it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Who are we waiting on, Andrew?
David Rovitz.
Oh, right. Sorry.
No, you're good. He should be jumping in. Hopefully.
No, it's all good.
You know, it makes me really happy that so many of the Assange movements around the world feature his face prominently because it's important. Because, like you said, if we're not seeing him at all anymore, there's no new sighting of Assange to be had. That if they quit showing him in the media, he just disappears from collective consciousness. Thank God the man's got white hair and that sticks out in people's memories, or no one would know who he fucking was at this point. Like it's so hard to get people to give a shit. But
Well, and even the
I do
pictures
feel
that
like
we
there's
feature,
something, you know, it's really stark to see when you see the pictures of the vans and the trucks, you know, that have that picture, especially the one of him smiling. Like, it
but
just
those are
really
so
hits
old.
you know.
I want people to see what they've done to him.
Exactly.
I want people to see what they've done
That
to him, because those pictures. I
that
mean, he's
would
a
speak
handsome
volumes.
guy.
It really
You know what
would.
I mean? Yeah, it would. Yes, it would.
Well, that's why they kept the court case on lock,
I
right?
know.
Like,
Mhm.
look at how much hysteria they can cause about like a fucking month and a half long fiasco with Johnny Depp or whatever the bullshit.
Mhm.
But yet we don't have a single video of Julian's prosecutions from the last 2.5 years.
Yes.
The most we have is a picture of him behind the TV. So like a picture of a video feed, and then the one picture of him from behind from actual in the court gallery. The last time they allowed
When
him
he's
in
behind the
public court.
wall, like Hannibal Lecter. Fucking weirdos. What the fuck? Ugh. That's I mean, but seriously, yeah, the pictures that we use are so old, and it's not a realistic representation of reality right now.
Yeah.
And I want them to see I want everybody to see what they've done to him. And
Mhm.
because they've managed to like I was talking about this earlier. I was on Primo. Primo, thank you, Primo, for having me on to talk about Julian Assange. But I was on Primo, and I was he asked like who are some of the better voices other than Roger Waters at like communicating the message, and I'm like, well, I mean, obviously Stella, because she humanizes him. You know what I mean? Like and I feel weird talking about their relationship in such kind of a forensic way, but I mean, if we're being strategic, it is like they completely dehumanize this guy, and he's a person.
Mhm.
So she's very helpful in reminding people of that, I think, and the boys, obviously. Because his humanity has been completely destroyed.
Yeah.
You know, they've created like a comic book villain out of this dude. He's this crazy hacker and a Russian agent, and you know, very.
And even with all that, there's still a shitload of global protests going on. So Alex is still doing the Candles for Assange events. Can I screen share these and scroll through them for everybody?
Yes, absolutely. And shout out to Alex. Please go follow Candles for Assange. Candles, the number 4 Assange. Alex is a completely vital part of, in my opinion, of the movement to free Assange. I mean, she is so organized, and she keeps track of all of the global events. She makes sure that they all have kind of cohesive messaging, and like a cohesive graphic. She makes graphics for everybody to use and share. It's so great what she does, and I love Alex.
So the next 2 upcoming global event dates are Sunday, June 19th, which I believe is like the next deadline for Priti Patel to make a decision. I'm not positive.
Yes, it is.
But I believe it's like the 18th or something around that time.
19th, yep. I asked
and
Stella.
then we have the 3rd of July, which is Julian's birthday. In London, they do have outside of Belmarsh from 5 to 7, July 3rd. Cambria, same thing, in the Commonwealth of whatever that is, Commonwealth Place, Sunday, July 3rd. In London, we have June 1st, June 8th, June 15th, 22nd, 29th, and July 6th outside of the Australia House. In Melbourne, Saturday, June 4th, so this coming Saturday. More London events at Piccadilly Circus, June 4th, 11th, 18th, 25th, the 2nd, and 9th of July. Glasgow on the 19th. We have Vienna every Wednesday throughout June. We have Germany, multiple different cities throughout the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Pretty much every day there's at least one city in Germany that has something happening. And then that's the end of the line for now for those. So that's pretty freaking exciting. I love seeing that all those events are still happening all over the place.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, here, I wanted to share this. So everybody knows like what the timeline is. Andrew was just talking about the deadline. This is, I asked, I got confirmation that this is accurate. This is what's going down. So this was before I had it confirmed. It is now confirmed. Not on the extradition treaty, but the timeline is. So it says, while we cannot confirm anything on the extradition treaties protocol in the UK, we share this time frame as described by the CPS which was also corroborated by an attorney who was close to Julian and WikiLeaks. What they indicate is that Patel can render her decision any day, but can also take a bit more time to do so. So the case went to Priti Patel on the 20th of April. So from that point, she had to wait 28 days in order to give the Assange defense team time to make their representations to her. And what that means, what the representations are, is just basically them trying to present her with evidence and facts, an attempt to influence her decision. But I mean, if we're being honest, she's corrupt as fuck. So I mean, but that's the legal process that they got to present representations. So that deadline, the 28 days, was the 18th of May, and then she has the time to consider them, and it's 2 months. The statutory deadline is what Stella called it, is 2 months from the April 20th date, which makes it June 19th. But she can extend that if she wants to. So this could drag on for who knows how long. I mean, maybe she'll make a decision. Maybe she'll announce it tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm going to guess that they drag it out at least until June 19th, perhaps beyond. That's what they've been doing this whole time, right, Andrew? Just kind of dragging this shit out every time. Yeah. So
that's literally their game plan, is to drag it out, move her from country to country, facing prosecution to prosecution.
That was a bootstrapper emails.
Yep. It literally has what they're doing to him now laid out in a document.
Yeah. Yep. And Julian released that himself. Julian leaked that. The plan to deal with him, he released evidence of that years ago. Nobody took him seriously, and now here we are. We were just talking today. I was talking to Hunter because we ended up talking about how everybody initially, when he entered the Ecuadorian embassy, said he was paranoid and he should just deal with it. And he was like, nope, there's a secret indictment. I'm not stupid, not doing it, seeking asylum. And everybody's like, oh, he's so paranoid. And then when he was in the embassy, everybody would say he was paranoid because he was having legal meetings in his bathroom and stuff like that. Turns out they were spying on him in the embassy, including in the bathroom, the women's bathroom. So yeah, it's nuts. I can't believe this has gotten this far, honestly. Right? Isn't it nuts?
It's just crazy that they've gotten away with it. That's the next part. That it can have gotten this far.
I know. Seriously, I am not a naive person. You know that, Andrew. And I've told you this before. Before he got arrested, I was annoyed that he was in the embassy. But for whatever reason, I was just like, okay, he's in the embassy. That sucks. But he's not in jail. They're probably going to just, drag this out for a little while. Eventually, it's probably going to see a conclusion. They're not going to arrest a journalist for doing journalism. You know what I mean? In my head, I really was. I'm not naive, but I really thought the United States, the First Amendment country, would not arrest a journalist for doing journalism. But here we are. And the fact that it's gotten to this point, with a number of human rights abuses, the fact that we know he was being spied on through the CIA, I mean, how can you have a fair trial? I'm sorry, I'm ranting, but how can you have a free trial when your motherfucking enemy has been spying on you 24/7? Has had a live feed of your living space where you cannot leave.
Oh, I know. You can't. You can't have a fair trial.
So why are we here? It should have been thrown out the window. The shit should have been lit on fire. Dude should have been sent home a long time ago. But here we are. That's what I mean. I can't believe it's gotten this far. Each time I'm just like, is anybody paying attention? No. I guess not.
I was checking Rockman.
I'm very ranty today.
But this is exactly. I went back and listened to Craig Murray's conversations, the parliamentary hearings about when he revealed the information gathered through torture that the United States had been pushing around the world. He talked about the decay of institutions that ignore those kinds of signals about the corruption of other institutions. And Germany is a prime example. The CIA gained political leverage in Germany by making sure that they wouldn't speak out for Khalid al-Masri, the torture victim that had been snatched up in one part of Europe, flown to Afghanistan, tortured for months, and then flown back to a different part of Europe, right? And the CIA gains power as people within institutions aren't willing to call out and prosecute those kinds of crimes, because then they have another friend in the system, essentially. So the longer that things like that go on, like Craig Murray warned about, the more and more simpler it becomes to violate the human rights of anyone, because you already have the people in positions of authority that are willing to look away for when it happens.
Well, and if you don't protest when it happens the first time, then it's kind of like a precedent has been set. You know what I'm saying? And so it becomes justifiable from that point forward. So it's going to be much more difficult to effectively argue against that kind of treatment when we just keep letting him do it. And it's not like it stops with Assange. Of course not. Look what they're doing to Consortium News, Mint Press, Alan McLeod, Caleb Maupin, a whole bunch of people are under some. All of us, really. I mean, shit. All of us are, dealing with a whole shit ton of censorship and all of that crap. So yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just annoying. I'm annoyed this week. I'm sorry. I really am. Like, I tried to get in a better mood earlier, but I'm just pissed off. Just having a week, yo. Just having a week.
I think we all are. I mean, you have every right to be annoyed and pissed off. Paying attention.
Yeah, it is very frustrating. It's like a constant bombardment, right? All the time. It's always something. I just wish we would get an answer on this. I mean, we already know.
I have some information up about the Australian Prime Minister, the new guy that took over.
Albanese. Yeah, can we? I have his contact info. We could put that up.
Yeah.
La la.
I like
so
giving
real
people
quick,
action.
shout out to David McBride and Friendly Geordies.
Yes.
It's like Friendly Geordies runs the Australian government secretly, and nobody knows it yet. For those of you who don't know, he's like the Australian version of Jimmy Dore. But he's done a really good job promoting whistleblowing and free speech issues in Australia, while at the same time fighting the Australian Police Department and like private strike forces and a bunch of just crazy shit. So big props to them out there for making sure that Julian still became an issue as the government was changing.
Okay, this is thanks to Rain. This is the contact info for freshly elected Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese or Nazy. Anthony Albanese. I don't remember.
Just call him Albo.
It's one of the two. But if there's two choices, I have a 50-50 chance of being right, and I'm usually wrong. Regardless, that's just my luck. Every time on my show, somebody will have like a similar name where it's like probably one of two ways, and every time I say the wrong one. Every time. Terrible. Okay, so this is the contact info for him. I'm honestly super. It was so cool to see. Literally, Team Assange left no room. There was no room at the minute, and really prior to the election too. But the minute those results were announced, he was getting bombarded with tweets. It was instant. It was like lit up. Like his timeline lit the fuck up.
As it should be.
And
That's awesome.
It was so fun to see. Like that was so good. Keep that shit up, fam. Keep that shit up. There's been some people who have been outside his office. I don't know their names. I wish I did so I could give them credit. But somebody shared pictures. There's been people outside of his office. Keep that shit up. They confronted him at a town hall on Tuesday. There was an article in the Sydney Morning Herald. That's kind of hard to say fast. And so there was an article talking about it, and Julian Hill, who's a backbencher, called him out because he, when confronted, Anthony Albanese said that something about like diplomacy shouldn't be conducted with like a bullhorn, essentially, and which I could not disagree with him more. This issue needs lots of bullhorn. Like, there's no being quiet. No, that's not a thing. You don't get to just like go behind closed door and have like a big chummy meaty with your corrupt friends and think that that's cool. No. You need to be loud about it. Like you need to be calling this out, really dramatically, in my personal opinion. But yeah, he got called out. Julian Hill called him out and said he shouldn't be using Weasley words, which I love that. And he's absolutely right. There's no time for your quietness and your cowardice. And also, Jennifer Robinson, who is Julian's attorney, also visited him on Tuesday, and she said that obviously his health is still deteriorating, which of course it is. And she said that she hopes that the Albanese government also does what they said that they would do, and stands up for an Australian citizen and fights for him to come home. We'll see. So far, I'm not impressed with Anthony Albanese.
I got the good side and the bad side articles.
Yeah. Oh, about this dude?
Yeah, about Albanese.
I mean, he talks a big game. He talks a big game, or he did before he got elected, as is so very common. But he's not really doing. He's not walking that walk.
You want to read?
I realize he just took power, but fuck you. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Should have happened day one. Sorry. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm very ranty. Motherfucker.
Do you want to read so I don't have to read?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Cool.
Oh, Andrew. Okay. Welcome back, though. I missed you so much. I really did. I'm giving you shit and busting your balls, but
I think it's fun.
Yeah, that's what we do. Okay, but the weekend's election result has buoyed his supporters with the hope that the new Labour government will intervene and help secure his release. While in opposition, newly elected Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is reported to have told a February 2021 caucus meeting that, quote, enough was enough, end quote, and he, quote, can't see what's served by keeping Assange incarcerated, end quote. Mr. Albanese is also a signatory to the Bring Julian Assange Home campaign petition. That is a bipartisan parliamentary group. That Julian Hill guy that I said called him out on Twitter, he's a member of that. So he signed the little thingy, but I don't think he's a member, which is lame. Senior Labour MP Mark Dreyfus, who is expected to be appointed Attorney General, has also expressed a need to, quote, bring the matter to a close, end quote. Mr. Shipton, which I assume would be John, is calling on the new government to turn these words into action. Quote, that was the Labour position before the election. So we're very hopeful when there's a new administration, a new government coming in. There's always a lot of hope that they will live up to their promises, end quote, he said. They will live up if we pressure. And it's going to take a lot of pressure.
Push them, Labour.
Yeah, no, I don't even, like, this isn't even like, I'm going to push them left. No, this is like, get in their fucking faces and be loud. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's going to take. I don't mean like don't come for me. I don't mean be violent, but we need loud, mass public pressure, loud.
But be violent. I didn't say it. What?
Allegedly. Okay. Quote, I hope Mr. Albanese raised Julian's case with U.S. President Joe Biden at the recent Quad meeting. The ABC has approached federal labor to confirm if MPs' positions had changed, whether Mr. Assange's case was raised at this week's Quad meeting in Tokyo, and what plans the new government had to intervene or offer consulate assistance. A spokesperson said the ALP could not comment at this stage, of course, noting the new ministry has yet to be appointed. Don't care. We don't have time for your bullshit. Okay, let's go.
So this is Joe Loria's article about the meeting of the Quads.
Joe.
What actually took place there. By the way, Joe Biden greeted Anthony Albanese on Tuesday, suggested the U.S. President and Australian Prime Minister will be getting along just fine. Biden pointed to Albanese as soon as he saw him arrive on the official photographs at the Quad Leaders Summit on Tuesday. The president put a hand on his arm and greeted him with a warm smile. Once the formalities were over, Biden drew Albanese in close, put his arm over Albanese's shoulder as they walked towards the meeting room. In fact, Biden hammered it up to make sure everyone knew the relationship between the U.S. and Australia was in safe hands on both sides of the Pacific. Later in their formal bilateral meeting, when Albanese spoke about his travels across the U.S. as a young man and revealed that he had been at a meeting with the National Rifle Association, Biden jokingly stood up, pretending to leave the bilateral talks and discuss. Albanese burst out laughing, as most others in the room did, before Biden reached out to shake his hand and say, "You're a brave man." So that's the first meeting between Biden and Albanese. Of course, not everything discussed between the leaders was reported. There remains outside chance that Albanese raised Assange in his conversations with Biden, but there has been no movement on Assange after Albanese gave Biden and Johnson what they wanted. At his bilateral with Biden, Albanese may have had one piece of leverage left. Biden's remarks Monday that the U.S. would militarily defend Taiwan broke with previous U.S. and Australian policy. The Guardian reported Monday, just 6 months ago, Labour criticized the then Defence Minister, Peter Dutton, for telling Australian newspapers it would be inconceivable that they wouldn't support U.S. In an action if the U.S. chose to take up action in Taiwan. That's the end of my slides.
That was funny. That's the end of my slide.
But so
Daniel's in the
far,
chat.
Anthony
Hi, Daniel.
Albanese hasn't actually done anything. Like he like previously, like there's tweets from like 2020 that are getting circulated and things like that. Which is awesome, but it's about as useful as Elon Musk talking about free speech. But that's why I appreciate all of the people in Australia and around the world that are putting that pressure on Albanese.
Yep.
Because he is someone that was at one point vocal about the Australian media and the state of what's actually happening over there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Also, where the fuck is Tulsi? Anybody know? Anybody know? I've asked her. We're in a kind of crucial part of the Julian Assange case, and suddenly she's gone silent. Hello? Not the time for silence. I don't know where the fuck she went. I tried asking her on Instagram and on Twitter. I got crickets. Somebody ask her. Go ask her. Why the fuck have you not been talking about Julian Assange? She used to. Do it. I want to know. She follows me. Why the fuck aren't you talking about Julian Assange? It's not like you don't see me asking. Come on. Sorry. I'm very feisty today.
No, that's my favorite. I actually have, I don't even know the group, but I have a big interview with like one of the like MMA kind of podcasts on the 8th, right? So I think that'll be
Talk
exciting.
about it on there because they like her.
Yeah, I will.
For sure. I've been trying to get some MMA fighters because I'll ask anybody, you know. I don't even remember what it was. There was some big fight and everybody was talking. I don't watch MMA, but everybody was talking about MMA. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to some of these fighters. I'm gonna tweet at them. I mean, dude, I tweeted at MC Hammer. I don't care.
Yeah, no.
Turns out he's a supporter.
It's worth it for real.
MC Hammer's a supporter. That's a
Are you guys sure you're on Rockfin? I'm seeing some comments that maybe Rockfin isn't. Oh,
we're not.
Yeah,
and
no Rockfin.
I can't fuck with it, and like it would take me a minute. Because
I can, if anything, we can just play it back on Rockfin. That's kind of easy to do.
Listen, guys, I haven't had to set this shit up in a long time. You're gonna have to cut me some slack. I forgot to do a lot of shit.
Right.
I didn't get the video, the intro video. I didn't get that downloaded. Andrew just had to share screen it because I forgot until today. And I didn't start Rockfin right or restream. I fucked it all up.
We still love you.
I mean, that's just it. I fucked it all up. Sorry. Deal with it.
So I don't know at this point if David will be joining us or not.
Okay, well, there's other stuff we can talk about.
No, I know. That's what I was gonna say. That's what.
Totes my goats, dude. I mean, I could go. You know me. Let's go. I'll ramble all. You know, I got some shit.
But
although we did just
coming in to talk about, I believe the Sussman trial.
Who's coming in?
Brooke Hines.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, is she the person that Graham Elwood went after? I don't want to say attacked. But okay. All right. That's what. Okay.
No, he did. He shit on her pretty bad for having adverse vaccine reactions because that's not real.
Well, he's okay. I shouldn't.
Yeah. No.
It's all good. Yep. I got nothing to say.
Trying my best.
No.
Although I will say I wrote a couple verses and I have them just kind of sitting and waiting.
I mean,
if I need to flesh it out into a full song or not. We'll see.
I said I was done. I am going to stick to. I am done. I'm done. But when you said Brooke, that I just kind of blurted it out because that was the first thing I thought of because I remember seeing that. But yeah, I got nothing to say. All right, Andrew, what do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
I can yell about Rand Paul some more because I am really pissed off about it. I'm not gonna lie.
That would be fun. I can
Everybody,
go look
please
up his
go tweet at Rand Paul. Here, I'll put the tweet in the chat. Of his. Oh no, that's not it. That's just where I was yelling at him. Hold please. Yeah, Rand Paul has a tweet out. I think it was yesterday. And he has been, as you've probably noticed, he has been talking about free speech a lot lately. He gave that little speech thing in Congress where he was talking about, and he was right. Listen, he's absolutely right. The largest purveyor of misinformation in the world ever is the United States government. It's not even close. It's not even close. So he was right. And I do appreciate the fact that he is talking about free speech and press freedom and why that's important. But he wrote a whole ass article talking about censorship and free speech And he didn't say Julian Assange's name a single time. Not a single time. Okay, here's the tweet where he tweeted the article out. Go to this tweet.
I'm gonna try to get you just some solid purr real quick. There we go. Okay.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that was purring. Don't stand on the computer, so help me fuck. Do not. Oh my god.
It's your fault, dude.
It is, I know. I'm an enabler.
All right, there's the tweet.
Makes me a fun dad, though, I'll tell you what.
Right. All right, go yell at Rand Paul, everybody. Please go yell at Rand Paul. And I really do mean, like, being, I guess, nice.
Don't be belligerent.
Right.
But be aggressive.
Firm.
Be forceful.
Be forceful, but I don't want to say civil because I hate that fucking word.
Right, don't get like
no. Don't be civil.
Hard,
don't be civil.
Don't be. I think don't be belligerent's good. I think most people understand what that means. Like go hard, but don't be belligerent. You don't want to be. I mean that you're not going to get anywhere with that. But definitely, like I don't. There's no coddling anymore. There's no more. Please, sir, will you help us fight for the future press
I have
freedom?
his contact form.
You do?
Pop it in there. Yeah, I'll put it in chat for everybody.
Yeah.
If you want to go.
We should probably. If I
contact directly to Rand.
I'll ask Big Mad Crab. I might need a couple people to make some graphics, or at least one person make the graphic and give it to me that's blank.
Man, shout out to Greg, Big Mad Crab, because that dude, he's done the thumbnails for my show for American Tradition, and everyone, it's just like it's so good. The one with Nancy Pelosi drinking the Mai Tai last time, and then the Obama one yesterday. It was just so good. I can't even handle it.
He made the graphics for the recent phone calls that I tried to push. He made all of those graphics for me. So
great.
Yeah.
He and I are actually going to be working on an EP together soon. I don't know if you've heard his music, but it's fantastic.
No, I don't think so.
Oh my god.
I feel bad because there's a lot of there's so many people doing like Marcus Cage, for example. Like I've known him and we've been in the same circles, but I've never really like until recently. Like he was just on my show and it's just hard to get to everybody.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's hard to get which is a good problem.
And I was about to say, we're in a really good position problem. If we got that many people making good content that there's not enough time for it all.
Do you know what I find funny about this though? Like I don't even have time to watch all the people that I like. And there are people out there who spend their time hate watching stuff. Why?
Yeah.
See, that's so crazy that's happening.
I know. Like right now it's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very strange to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I wish I had more time in the day to watch all my friends. Like I can't keep up with like Convo Couch and AM Wake Up and Whitney Webb stuff and Jesse stuff and Indie stuff and Reef stuff and all of INN, really Tara stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I'm doing 15 of my own shows a week. Jesse stuff on Perspective. It's fucking possible. Ryan Christian, Last American Vagabond. It's impossible. It's fucking impossible to keep up with everybody. So the idea that anybody would spend time hate watching is just really strange to me. It's very bizarre. You know, do you though? I guess. But yeah, fuck Rand Paul.
Yeah, we'll have his email. I'm looking for Marjorie Taylor Greene's email too.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I feel like she's definitely controlled.
Behind fucking.
She's controlled crazy, I think.
Bullshit.
She's a show. She's a performance. She's a shiny object, I think. That's what she is. But, I mean, I'll exploit her. Like, if we can get her to talk about it, she's got a huge platform. Fuck yeah. Let's get her on board. We'll use that. Absolutely.
They make you put in the zip code to one of her constituency bases, so I have to look it up.
Yeah, lie. Ugh, ridiculous.
Oh, got it.
But yeah, Rand Paul's speech. Oh, can I also bitch about another thing, Rand Paul, that's not Assange related?
Do it.
Because it annoyed me. This article, I'm going to pull it up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because I'm really quite over this bullshit. This left-right fucking bullshit. Kiss my ass.
You should be able, real quick, you should be able to use the link I just dropped into chat to contact Marjorie Taylor Greene. And if they ask you for a zip code verification, you can use 30165 as a zip code.
30165. Okay. All right. Here's Rand Paul's article. Did that come up? Sorry, I'm paranoid. All right, got it. Okay, this is his article, which again, Cool. He's talking about censorship. He's talking about the Disinformation Governance Board. He's talking about like free speech and all of that stuff. Good stuff, right? Talks 1984 comes out of the gun, but then he starts comparing it to Russia. Which, listen, Russia does have censorship. They absolutely do. There's no question about it. They have a horrendous record of dealing with journalism. Obviously, we're torturing a journalist right now for telling the truth. No mention of that, but Russia, right? Rand Paul. No mention of Julian Assange, what we're doing to a journalist, but Russia. So that's annoying. Second of all, he then goes on to talk about how it's a leftist thing. That leftists just love them some censorship. And Joe Biden, who's the left suddenly, Joe Biden's not a fucking leftist. That's absurd. That is, but they're very effective at this. They use this left-right thing. They start labeling everything.
Biden's a socialist.
Yes, and it's not true. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Come on, he is a corrupt, corporate-owned, authoritarian warmonger. That's not left. And by what stretch of the imagination? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought leftism was like about anti-imperialism, anti-government, kind of anti-power, like anti-power. You know what I mean? Like people, power to the people.
Sounds like you don't support Ukraine, Misty.
Yes, of course I support Ukraine. I don't want us using Ukraine as a fucking political football in a proxy war against Russia. That's what's happening. We don't actually care about Ukraine. If we cared about Ukraine, we wouldn't be fucking around in Ukraine. We wouldn't have overthrown their democratically elected government in 2014. We wouldn't have been expanding NATO. We wouldn't have, you know what I mean? Fuck off. I'm sick of that shit too. But yes, this dumbass left-right nonsense. And then what's so funny too is he in here he talks about in America we've yet granted the government the police power to criminalize misinformation, but not for trying. The American left believes that the public should be protected from anyone who questions COVID-19 orthodoxy. Excuse me. Hi, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Misty. I am almost. I guess I would qualify as a leftist. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck that means because maybe I don't. You know what I mean?
Right, no shit.
What the fuck? Words have no meaning, and it's used. This is how it's used against us, the way that he is framing this right here. And he knows what he's doing. It's creating division. It's separating humanity, which has a wide spectrum of political ideologies. I mean, there is no just left and right team. That's ridiculous. That we're going to 350 million people, we're going to shove into two different teams. That's not accurate.
Seems right.
And so yes, it's very frustrating to me that he's, pushing this kind of, because stop letting them divide us where there needn't be any fucking division. Free speech, press freedom is not a left-right issue. It's an everybody fucking issue. It is a post-partisan issue. This affects all of us. And so the fact that he's trying to divide people on this issue is, I'm not okay with that. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Stop pretending that Joe Biden's a leftist. But it's funny, he does that whole thing where it's all about the left, and at the end of the article he says something about what I just said. For now, Biden's Ministry of Truth is dead, but free speech advocates on the right and the left. But wait, you just said that it's the left that doesn't support free speech. So which one is it? You know what I mean? But he tries to paint it as if it's the entirety of the quote unquote left, not even really with any definition of what that is. I'm just tired. Like, this is very, it's very intentional division, I think, in my opinion. Don't come for me. But yeah, fuck Rand Paul. I'm going to keep saying it.
We're up on
Your dad supports Assange.
I need it on a shirt.
There it is. All right, we're back. We're officially back. Welcome to Action for Assange, everybody. First shirt of the new season, minted.
Oh, I need it on a shirt though. Your dad supports Assange. Don't be such a bitch, Rand. Your dad supports Assange. Oh, silly. Ridiculous.
If anyone would rather watch us on Rockfin, I got that going.
Did you?
I did.
Boosh, look at that.
Oh, Andrew, I missed you.
I did the thing.
Damn, Andrew, what can't you do?
Right?
You are not. You just remember how I accidentally became the tech guy? I think you just accidentally stole that position from me.
Dude, no, I'll for real do it. Like, I seriously realized today, I was like, wait, we didn't talk about where we're actually like doing the video at.
We didn't talk about anything. We were just like, we haven't done a show in ages, but it's like almost like we just assumed that you and I, like, we would just know, like, there was no like pre-show meeting or conversation about it. Was just like, yeah, we're gonna do a show.
Like, yeah, it'll work.
No idea any of the details, really. Time. We knew what time. We knew what time. We just did numbers 3 minutes before we went live.
That was a really like sad way to like
it's all coming
start
together.
off the show behind the scenes, like updating the number stock.
It's perfect. That's us. That's how we've always done things. We're very disorganized. We all have ADHD. We're extremely passionate, but you know, we may not be like, if you're looking for a very like streamlined professional show, this may not be it. We're just some activists who are trying desperately to get information out. You know what I mean? We're not like a authoritative news source.
We try to be. We're probably more authoritative than most.
We are.
That's the sad part.
It's not really though, because we do know what we do know. We know.
We know.
We've invested a lot of time in this shit.
So again, I'm dropping the link to Priti Patel's website to contact all of the elected people inside of the Conservative Party.
I can pull up my thread too.
Inside of her district. So if you're interested in doing that, please just start grabbing the emails. Maybe don't start at the top because everyone will start at the top. Maybe grab some out of the middle, grab some out of the bottom. And just ask these people to ask Priti Patel to support Julian Assange because this is internal political pressure at a lower level of government that we can apply here. And I just think it's an interesting concept, an interesting thing to try.
I'm down for trying whatever, dude.
Yeah.
I'll call whoever. We just need pressure. I mean, really, it doesn't matter. We just need pressure from any and all angles, which means we need people. So yeah, I mean, I'll literally beg if you want me to. We just need help, please. Seriously, like I'm tired. I really am. I would really enjoy it very much if we had some assistance. You know, that'd be cool. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Again, don't care who you are. Don't care who you voted for. I don't care what party you belong to or if you belong to a party. I don't care what ism you subscribe to. I don't care what books you've read. Don't give a shit. I mean, as long as you're not like I don't know, corrupt oligarch.
Ooh, it's cold in here.
We might be able to find some common ground on some shit. You know what I mean? I just want to get some shit done. I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying? It feels like we're running in the hamster wheel all the time.
Yeah. In the Rockfin chat, I put a bunch of emails up if you don't want to go to the website. Also
Hi,
has
Rockfin.
The main office for the William Conservative Party or whatever, Wiltham, whatever the UK name is over there for you to reach out to.
Oh, yeah. I never know if I'm saying the right. Probably not. Yeah, there's a lot of people we can call though. Oh, I was going to bring up my thread. Here are.
So we had a Benny ask in chat if we'll accept a Hillary Clinton voter. I would say like an absolutely apologetic one.
Yeah.
One that's like, yeah, no.
I'm friends with people who have voted for
Hillary
Clinton.
Clinton voter, yes.
I have friends who have voted for Hillary Clinton. And Andrew, honestly, Benny's a hate watcher.
No, I know.
You know, so I would just ignore, honestly.
I just thought it was a fun question.
Yeah, I mean, but yes, I mean, I'm friends with people who voted for Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Again, if it's a Hillary Clinton supporter, who
I don't
also
like them, but I'm
understands-
friends with them. Oh, we have fun here.
Well, I mean, for being honest, I don't like anybody.
People, what a bunch of bastards.
Many money bags doesn't do people, really. We don't do that. No, but I mean, yeah, I'm friends with, I mean, I have people in my family who voted for Hillary Clinton. I have people in my family who voted for Donald Trump. I have people who also voted for Jill Stein. I have people who voted for, I have a cousin who votes Libertarian. It's not about who you vote for me. It's about the issue, like the singular issue. If you want to end the wars, if you want to go to an anti-war protest with me, and you voted for Hillary Clinton and you're sincere. I mean, listen, I'm going to think it's weird that you're there while supporting an unbelievable warmonger. But welcome. Thanks for showing up. You know? I don't know why that's weird or controversial. I get a lot of shit for that all the time. because I'm willing to work with people I don't agree with. I don't know. Is
Isn't
that
it weird?
weird?
Isn't that a strange concept?
It's weird. Like, it's weird that people would get mad about that. Like, I could understand, I guess, like if I were legitimately working with like really, like if I were working with somebody like Hillary Clinton, yeah, I would criticize me too. But I'm just like everyday people who maybe voted for Trump. Maybe I don't agree with him on a lot of things. But if they want to end the wars, if they want to free Palestine, if they want to fight for Assange, if they want to fight to end homelessness, if they, yeah, okay, let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's go get that thing done because I want that thing done. I don't care. I don't care who has to help me get there. I'm selfish. See, I want this. I want this shit done. Be selfish. It's not about my ego.
And you get double lighters for that one. Came prepared.
Okay.
One's my candle lighter, one's my bowl lighter. So.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you want to play something random for us?
Hold on, let me
I'd
go
love
through
to.
these phone numbers real quick, homie.
After the phone numbers.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, bitches. Okay.
I'm holding.
So,
Look at me. Look how relaxed I am.
Don't
Hanging out. Don't mind me.
All right, so this number I have heard that people have had issues with. I've tried it. It worked okay for me. I just had to leave a message, but you can write this. This will probably work for you if you're in the UK. I think it was just international people that were having some issues with this. So it's 020-7035-4848. That's Priti Patel. When you call Priti Patel, leave a message or whoever you talk to, demand that the extradition be denied. Right now, the extradition is currently in her hands. She's the one that's making the next decision on whether or not to have him extradited. So demand that his extradition be denied. You can also call the Justice Department. This has two different lines. You can call the comment line. It's just like an answering machine type thing. Or you can call the main switchboard and try to talk to a staffer. You're not going to get Merrick Garland on the phone, but you could talk to a staffer. And that, may potentially make more impact, especially if you're obnoxious about it. So the comment line is 202-353, not obnoxious in your phone call, but like consistent. Do it a lot.
You could be obnoxious in your phone call.
I mean, you're going to be, because you're going to be calling a lot. Like, that's what I mean, is call a lot and be obnoxious in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let it go.
Be relentless.
Yes, be relentless. I call like once a day usually. Sometimes I'm not perfect. I try to call all these numbers at least once a day, but I'm not perfect. There are days that I forget or get busy or whatever. Okay, so comment line 202-353-1555-555. Yes, okay. Or 202-514-2000. Again, that's the main switchboard. Okay, Amnesty International, done. Out of patience, done. Done with Amnesty International. It is time for them to designate Julian Assange as a prisoner of conscience. I highly recommend, Mohammed Almazi has an article out recently about Amnesty International and their failure to make this designation. It's a fantastic article where he kind of examines what the process is, like what is necessary, what is the definition of a prisoner of conscience, does Assange meet that criteria, and why haven't they done it? And it's a really great article, and it's literally all they have to do is just say we designate him a prisoner of conscience. It doesn't take any more money. There's no real like time or effort required, but it does help because it kind of elevates it in terms of media coverage. It's much more difficult for media to ignore a prisoner of conscience being extradited. You know what I'm saying? For whatever, for better or for worse. That's just the reality of it. So I'm done with Amnesty. It's time to pressure them as well. You can call their member line. I don't care if you're a member or not. Just call 1-800-266-3789. Make the demand that they make the designation of prisoner of conscience. And then you can also call or email them at aimember@aiusa.org. And leave an email also demanding the same thing. You can call the White House. This makes me laugh. The White House comment line is only open from Tuesday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Because democracy.
Well, you can't have too much democracy.
Everyone's short-staffed right now, Misty. Nobody wants to work.
Democracy. You can only call and leave a message at your White House comment line Tuesday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. But do it.
Fucking part-timers.
They probably have full-time benefits though. 202-456-1111. 202-456-1111. That is the White House comment line. Don't forget Tuesday through Thursday. This is the other number you can call for Priti Patel. If the one I already gave you does not work for whatever reason, it's 020-7219-3528. Again, ask her to deny the extradition request. We already did Anthony Albanese. So there's some phone numbers you can call too. That's
Did you say Marion Barry died? Hang on, can you scroll down just a touch? Marianne Barber.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
Yikes.
He's only 38.
Mm. Damn.
Wow. Wow.
Whew.
You know what? I'm not going to say it. We're on YouTube.
Yep. Yep. Give it a few days.
Yeah. Don't say it. We're on YouTube. I hate this so much.
What's your
Oh my
weather
God.
like over there? Storming, you said, right?
Yeah. No,
Stormy?
can I just tell you, I have to be very careful because I'll just blurt it out. But Andrew was on my show the other day and he started to talk about that thing, about
Mhm.
the thing,
Mhm.
I don't even know what to call it.
The Babadook?
You guys know that thing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Andrew went to talk about it and he was like, and he like started to do what I'm doing right now. Like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
I don't want to talk. And I'm like, no. This is TNT. You can say that out loud. You can
It's like
speak
you're
freely.
trying to do a fucking drug deal over the phone all discreetly. You're just like, so do you have the cupcakes? Do you want vanilla or purple?
Do you want sprinkles on that? Yes, that's exactly what it is like. But I was so excited. I got really excited, and I was like, because it was really the first time anybody had ever like attempted to censor or was starting to censor themselves. And I was just like, no, you get to speak freely here.
You're
Like,
free
you can just
here.
talk about it. It's amazing.
You found your way to the sea.
That's so good. So it made me very happy.
Well, that's the power of alternative broadcasting platforms, though.
Thank
for
you,
real.
TNT Radio.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are
Seriously.
you on like radio over there?
It's
in
like
the UK?
internet. I don't know. I don't know. Fuck, dude. There's a lot of stuff that they have. Like, there's a Facebook page and there's an app and I mean, I have no idea. Like, I just show up and do my show. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. I know that there's going to be shirts soon because I asked.
Yeah.
I'm really
I
excited.
dropped a fun email address into chat for everybody. It's justice@tesla.com, right? So it's a whole separate thing, but Elon Musk has like this personal email that he set up for people that want to be lawyers for him to be able to reach out to him. So I think that would be a fun place to send information about Julian's situation too, as well, if you add that to an email list.
Okay. We're giving out all kinds of good actions, fam. Welcome
Right?
back. Let's
It's been
go.
like 6 months since I got to give actions. I got to put it up on the website. I just don't remember the website's password.
I don't think I've ever had the website's password. I just now got the YouTube password in April.
Yeah, that's
when we were
true.
in DC. I didn't even
You were
know
like
that.
on the ground in DC, like, hey, send me that password. What is it?
I need to go live. Send me the password. And then I didn't have. Oh, I still don't have like the Twitter page. I've never had that. Yeah, I don't have the email. I don't have that either. I don't need any of it. Frankly, you handle that shit.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it's really just spam. Like, that's all that comes to the email, and that's all that happens to any email after like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is you just get nonstop spam.
I always promise myself I'm not gonna like send an email or sign up for something that will cause me to get a bunch of emails, and I inevitably fail. I always somehow, I don't know how, I always. It's annoying. It's really annoying. Like right now, I have a ridiculous amount of emails, a ridiculous waiting to be checked. Hold on, I'll tell you. 589 on one, and 750 on the other.
Woof.
That's some lightweight. Gotta get them numbers up.
I check it every day. Like every day, I go through and like delete like 20. I'm trying to like catch up. I think I have to be getting more than that a day because I'm not getting anywhere. Oh, ridiculous. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, Consortium News. Where am I? Consortium News has a new documentary out.
It's really good too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. It's called Remember the Embassy. Hold on, let me pull up. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, I'm going to drop this. Oh, no, wrong button. I'm going to drop this link in the chat. This is the link to the Consortium News website where you can watch the documentary. It's very cool. Check it out. Please support them too. They've been getting fucked with. PayPal.
Yeah, their PayPal.
Yeah.
Taken from them. I don't know if they ever got it back.
They did not get it back. They did get their money back. So initially they were shut out of their Twitter, out of their PayPal, and $10,000 was just being held. And then they were also threatened that they may just take that for damages, whatever the fuck that means. So they were just going to steal $10K from Consortium News. So they ended up getting. They still don't have their. I don't think so. I haven't asked Kathy for a while. I'll get an update for sure. But last I heard, they did not have their access to their PayPal. They're not allowed on PayPal anymore, but they did get their money back. They were able to withdraw their money. That's the last I heard. But we should have Kathy on.
We should. I tried to get her on tonight, but she was busy.
Yeah, she's been on my show a couple times, maybe just once, which was very nice of her to do because they work nights. And so she stayed, it was like the last hour before she went to bed.
Yeah, they work on like U.S. time. So right now it's probably like 11 o'clock or noon out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, is she still in London? They're 5 hours ahead of us.
Oh yeah. No, I forgot. I thought they were still in Australia.
No, I think they're in London. She just posted a picture from London because the decision's about to be read. They're in London. Consortium News is in London for sure. Yeah. So she's in London. They're 5 hours ahead of us. Juan Passarelli's coming on my show soon. Andrew?
Nice.
Hold on.
I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think to ask him.
I send out just like batches of text messages like, hey, you wanna do this between this and this time? Like, let me know.
Yeah, hold on. He's gonna be
push it back for a
on
week.
Tuesday, June 7th at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Heck yeah. There's a lot of awesome books that have just come out or are coming out in English right now too.
Yeah, Stefania Maruzzi's book. Oh, I got goosebumps. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Please support Stefania Maruzzi as well. Holy balls, dude. She is an absolute force to be reckoned with. She has been on this for what, like 7-10 years probably?
Yeah, doing
just in a hardcore battle
on
FOIA requests.
Yeah,
like a hard
in 3 different countries, right?
Yes. Sweden, Italy, and the U.S., I think. Maybe even Germany. I don't know. But yes, like a hard fought battle. I mean, like in the trenches, constant appeals and denials. And I mean, a constant back and forth trying to get these FOIA requests. She's amazing. She's amazing. I love her. And get Nils Melzer's book. I mean, it's been out for a while, but get it.
I need to restock on all my books. I got my shirt of myself for my wall.
Yeah. The fuck, Cass? Yeah, I have a Andrew shirt too. Oh, I told you that. Yeah, the first vigil you missed, I wore it.
That's cool.
When you took a break, I have a little screenshot of me going like this, so everybody can see that Andrew's on the show. All right, Jesse, are you playing something? I'm just over here talking.
Yeah, we should have Brooke jump in any minute if you want to play something for a second.
Yeah, I can play something. I know you mentioned Amnesty, and I mentioned them in a spoken word piece last week, actually.
Is this new that I have not heard?
Yes.
Dude, come on. I used to be the first person you got a hold of. You did some new shit.
This started off, it was just going to be short. I was just going to riff a little about Twitter time limit constraints on videos and dig at Jordan Chariton and then shut it down. And then it kind of spiraled out of control, as I'm so wont to do when I'm at work. And yeah, so this is called 2 and 20. Give me 2 and 20. Humor me my humble talents. Let me weep a bit too openly for those we're leaving hungry, hanging in the balance, hanging lifeless in the eagle's talons, wrapped in lines a dozen times around their local food drives just to find they're only serving heaps of mayo peed up by the gallon with a hearty double scoop of Biden's word salad. 'Cause Joe's prepared a couple words in no specific order to commemorate imaginary victories, and it must be a taste that you acquire from the Democratic palate. 'Cause I find nothing pleasing, sweet, or nourishing, or valid. But here comes Jordan Chariton and all his stunted clones to take that tired Democratic tune and put it to the music of a patriotic ballad. Something that inspires you to cough up $20 and vote for 4 more years of civil servants telling you you're greedy because you didn't cream your jeans to see their flaccid snail-paced climate action. I'm sorry I was not impressed enough to go line up to have my turn to chug directly from the liberal vat of brunch relaxants. I'm sorry I still have a scrap of morals, so I couldn't sleep at night to know I led the working class into the slaughterhouse through promise of a greener pasture. Actually, I take it back. I'm never sorry. I would rather eat my fucking tongue than write a word that served those greedy bastards. I guess that the fundamental difference in what all too often passes as a journalist is just how swiftly some will seek to satisfy their masters. And by some, I mean the only ones they tell you truly matter. I mean the only ones they don't outright erase or bury under peals of laughter. I mean the only ones who speak a truth that we may not embrace until we're in too deep to hope escaping our disaster. I mean the ones who seek to break the spell and try to name the actors. Who shouldn't need remind you they have numbers and addresses and are each of them disgustingly deserving of the kind of mortal fear the roar of riot brings and blesses. With conviction like a pastor, we didn't start the fire, but we came to fan the downfall faster. Give me 2 and 20, I'll be sharp and quick and funny, then I'll scream myself bloody when you play that fucker backwards. All the world's a stage and the theater's belching flames, but really what's more entertaining than a playhouse full of lively actors? Smoke gets in your eyes like a diversion tactic. Tacitly you lapse a little, lax your guard, and last thing you'll remember is your faction being fractured and dismembered into fractions, flecks, and fragments. The last thing you'll remember is an ugly dream of fascists filling every fucking cabinet. The last thing you'll remember is the travesty that Amnesty's Assange support was just this side of abstinence. The last thing you'll remember as a member of an audience that never pays attention is this overwhelming feeling that regardless, you're all captive in the captured sense. So none of you can notice if the words that you hear spoken don't match up to what the caption says. In the end, the greatest coup was folks like Jordan using you till you think revolution's waiting just beneath the surface of this tar pit that our democratic status is. In the end, the sound of all these propagandists buzzing from their hottest steaming takes to imperialist sweet nothings will all metastasize into a static cyst. And once you see that obfuscation calcified before you, you might look at it a moment and think, how could we let that exist? How could we have struggled just to breathe beneath the weight of all this cancer bearing down on us and all we did was scream resist? And nonetheless, the warmonger queen persists. She's reducing men in power to a simple list. Who can keep a pedophile's secret versus who might need a little help to slow their lips? Who might need a visit in their cell so there's no risk that when they take the stand, they magically remember every trip they took to Little St. James or every place they ever shook Podesta's hand? Who among us knows how many times our flag has flown above the stage where a molester stands? Only Clinton's shadow knows. Only Clinton's fixer, probably bitter still from Navarone. Only Clinton's cult who worship BlackRock because they have a home. Give me 2 and 20, I'll produce them each a catacomb. And I'm aware in doing so I roll the dice, so each might be the final time I walk inside and tell my son that daddy's home. Give me 2 and 20. I could eulogize myself and still have plenty left to shred on Ken and Jordan, Jenk and Jeff, and Bernie, Nina, Nancy, AOC, and Chuck and Joe and TYT, and every Twitter toddler who assumes that makes me GOP. You won't see me sing on bigger streams. I'll snap your platform right in two. Just give me 2 and 20. Here's the worst that I could do.
That's fucking brilliant, dude. That's fucking brilliant. That was brilliant. I love the 2 and 20. I love that.
Oh, I'm awake now. I was dozing there for a minute. Oh man.
Are you saying we're boring? Fuck you.
No, I'm saying I've been up since the ass crack of dawn, and I moved enough kegs today to kill a rhinoceros. So,
busting your balls, dude. I'm just busting your balls. Okay, Brooke's here. Brooke's here. Hi,
hey, I'm gonna back up. Hey, that was amazing, Jesse.
Yeah,
that was intense.
Seriously, thank you.
That was good. That was. You're always good though. That was great. That was fucking great.
I love
the call out. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
The run that was static cyst, let that exist, scream resist, and queen persists. I was like yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Seriously, that means the world to me. Like,
That was
When did
cool.
you write that? I'm mad that you didn't call me when you wrote that, fucker.
That was
You could've been a
last
bitch.
week, the 18th. So yeah, last week.
Sleeping. Come on.
Yeah, I was, and that's funny. Cynic mentioned that. I wanted to try to keep that within 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It's like 5 minutes or something. It's the shortest I could get it down to. So that's not going to be Twitter length, but whatever.
I love the 2 and 20 thing. I love that. That's brilliant. That's so annoying too.
It really is. It's like,
really
of course, if I want to make a
annoying.
professional account, then I can have, as long a video as I want. But
I don't want a professional.
who's got that kind of money?
Yeah. How much is it? They want you to pay to Twitter.
I haven't even looked because I know it just makes me angry.
Yeah. That's not ever happening. I'm not paying for Twitter.
Right? Exactly. I already have, there's a heavy cost I already pay for Twitter, okay?
They should pay us.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start sending them my therapy bills.
We're test subjects, man. We should get some kind of bill for this.
Yeah, compensated for our work.
Mhm.
Come on. Oh,
Oh, man.
ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not paying for Twitter. It's not. Just like Rumble, I'm not paying to live stream. That's not a thing I'm gonna do. Stop that, please. Ridiculous. Although I will say, I'm glad we have like places like Rumble and Rockfin and Odyssey, and I think Indy calls it playing platform whack-a-mole.
I love that, man.
Just trying to figure out which platform you can go on and say what can you say on each platform? How do I have to censor myself for this?
Yeah.
It's a
Very
constant
true.
fucking battle. It's a constant fucking battle.
Yeah, I saw you guys start to hit the wall with the Cowboys guy who just died at 38.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's right. You can't even talk about it.
You
on
can't.
YouTube.
Well,
You
look
can't.
at the-
It's crazy.
look at
If
the
you even
Boston
mention it, you
Marathon.
might get your channel taken down. Like just saying the word.
Yep.
That might snatch you up in the algorithm and you're going to get a strike on your channel.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Like there was last I saw, I don't know if it's I have to look into it more, but apparently 16 people had to be carted away at the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was a boop boop only event. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't be unbooped and
Mhm.
participate. So
Nobody's
I
talking
liken
about
that,
that shit though, dude.
right.
It's
I
like
liken that
soccer
to
players,
literally a
football players,
scientific
whatever.
experiment. Like they're taking the most fit people that complied and then putting them
Mhm.
through a literal maze
Or
through
were
the
coerced.
city to see what happens to them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some complied, some were coerced.
Mhm.
It's
Let's
crazy.
be clear. But yes. And you can't listen. Here's the thing. I'm going to go on a rant again. I'm sorry. I am very ranty today, but I'm in a very bad mood this week. I'm so frustrated by the fact that something like COVID can happen that literally impacts every single human being on planet Earth, and all of the conversations are not allowed. Like every question should be allowed to be asked. Everything should be put on the table. There should be an immense amount of transparency. And there's not, and there won't be. And we still aren't allowed to ask questions. And the fact that so many people went along with that and thought that it was okay to censor people who had alternative viewpoints. I mean, we weren't even allowed to talk about potential early treatment or cures, not even have the conversation. A virus is going around that's making people really sick, and we can't even have the conversation about potential early treatment. Why was that not red flags for everybody?
Well,
and I know why. We're scared. But
well, I think the bigger thing there is we can and we did, right? Like so we weren't allowed, but
No,
we still
we
did,
did.
and we formed these alternative ways of doing that through systems that we had either developed or taken advantage of on our own to continue to spread that information across a whole multitude of different points of the political spectrum. So I think it's as horrifying that big tech can censor us in this way, but it's also like reassuring that information can still spread without them.
Yes,
that's
my
the
point
whole
was though,
essence
I'm
of
also horrified by the number of people who went along with it. It's not just that big tech can censor us. It's that so many people who I know and I like and who follow me and who I think are otherwise fairly intelligent human beings who have a decent grasp on what's going on. And they were like cheering for like hardcore censorship of discussion. And it's that's really depressing. I honestly, like over the past 4 years, I have really come to the realization, and I'm starting to come to terms with that there's a whole lot more of a love of authoritarianism out there than I thought. And that's a little
I think there's a lot of people who are involved. I'm starting to call them the institutional left. So people who are working with unions or adjacent or doing any kind of messaging in those areas. The family-funded progressive groups are another. DSA is another. These are all institutional left groups. I think that they had marching orders at a certain point that traveled on the back of in 2020 the push to get rid of Trump. And while they were doing that, along came COVID, and they combined the two and politicized the science while saying, believe science. But that's, it's just absolutely insane. Christian Perenni did a really good write-up in the Gray Zone, kind of calling that out. And I'm working on a piece that goes a little bit deeper and adds a few thoughts. But, a lot of people who I followed for years and just really appreciated when I saw how they were responding to me and what happened to me, and being just absolute dillweeds about it. I was like, I want to figure this out. I want to try to understand where they're coming from. And block them, at the same time.
Word. I totally get it. Yeah, totally get that. Yeah, no, it is very frustrating because honestly, but it's been like that. I mean, I think almost said it. Almost said it. I think the thing that we're all talking about is it has been hyper politicized, and I think it's been. Go ahead.
It goes back to as Brooke was saying, like Trump and the Russiagate era, because that's where the censorship was politically acceptable to speak up for.
Yes.
Right. That's when the politicians were allowed to say,
I don't know.
"Oh, Twitter has to represent this issue this way, or this is bad and this is misinformation." Which is actually why we brought Brooke on, was to talk about like the Sussman trial, the Durham probe, and those kinds of things. So I'd like to open the stage for you for that.
Thanks. Well, so there was an acquittal just the other day, or God, it's been a long day, just like with Jesse. I'm not even sure what day we're on, but I was shocked at the acquittal. But we knew that there were that there were some pretty hinky people on the jury, and I've been watching what Aaron Mate has to say about it, and it looks like he's doing really well with making lemonade out of lemons, because we're getting documents produced that wouldn't have been produced. But I mean, when you look at the whole thing, you've got at this point you can go down the checklist of Russiagate, and everything except for the DNC hacking, everything except for that, we've got solid freaking proof that it was cooked up from the Hillary Victory Fund, all of the people at Perkins Coie, the Sussman, and all of these guys. Now, they're not going to do any time for it, but we know what happened there, and we have to talk about it. And we can't let this be memory hold like everything else that gets memory hold. There should be hearings, and maybe if the Democrats lose Congress, which I think they probably will in November, we might see some hearings. And I hate that is even a thing for me, because lifelong Democrat, and the party has just, like lemmings, just gone off of the deep end. No one seems to have any solid ground that they're standing on. No one is standing on principle. Nobody looked at what was going on with Russiagate and said, hey, wait a minute, maybe we don't want to start a war with Russia. Or, hey, wait a minute, maybe it's not a good thing for Hillary Clinton to blame her loss, which was all due to her, on on, you know, this made up story. And we knew it was made up. We knew it was made up from the book Shattered, that they cooked it up on the night of the election with fast food bags surrounding them, the steak and burger or the milkshake and burger place, Shake Shack.
Yeah.
And it's funny, these details you remember. And I just feel like everything has to be so corrupt for people to get away with this. So it has to line up with all of the institutions like that, you know, I talked about the institutional left, and then you add the media, and then you add, you know, like Mickey Mac, you know, you add the congressional sources, and, you know, just up and down the line, everyone lined up to spread this lie. And no one has shown any remorse for it. And like you were talking about censorship, no one has shown any alarm at what this is starting to produce, which is actually pretty terrifying. And it's not just terrifying in terms of, I mean, the censorship itself is something that we should talk about for the next year, just solid, because it's that problematic and it's that bad, and it lines up exactly with Assange. But what is wrong with us psychologically that the whole country was like, you know, willing to believe, willing to follow Rachel Maddow down this, you know, with this fairy tale about Russia hacking into our heating systems, you know, and just all of this ridiculous crap. There's something wrong with us.
What would you do though, Brooke? What would you do if Putin just shut off your heat in the middle of winter? What are you gonna do? Oh,
well, they don't have to get everybody or even a majority. They just have to get enough people. Like we as activists talk about it as like getting the 3% of people that care enough to spread the information. You can see change rapidly, and that's just what their machine's designed to do. Because they don't have to have 25% of people. They just have to have the loudest 10% of individuals on their side. And the same thing's true for like MAGA and Ultra MAGA and whatever bullshit. Is that they don't need everyone or the majority anymore. They just need enough people that they can platform and vocalize. So that way others feel like they either have to support it or just blindly go to the voting booth because they have so much other things to do. They don't worry about politics. They just play whatever team.
Yep. And they control the systems of information. So it's on every airport TV. It's on every doctor waiting room TV. Like it's, they manufacture reality. And because they have the ability to elevate those voices so that tiny percentage of people feels massive. I mean, that's what we're up against. And that's what propaganda is. That's why people fall for this shit. I mean, whether it was Russiagate or weapons of mass destruction or, you know, whatever it is. I mean, we could rattle off a gazillion circumstances where this
Ukrainian heroes.
Yeah. Yeah, Syrian gas attacks, where the CNN journalist goes and she sniffs the backpack. Smells like something. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch? If that was sarin gas, like, I'm supposed to believe you would pick that up and sniff it? Come on. And people still think that that's a real thing that happened, that there was a real chemical attack in Syria. But that's how it works.
You know, I wrote a piece a year or so ago about an event I went to in Death Valley, and it was the Daily Kos people. And what had happened was I was volunteering with our local state progressive caucus, which it took me a while to realize that the progressive caucus that's associated with the party is never going to actually influence the party. They're never going to critique them. They're never going to, you know, try to make things better for progressives. They just exist to back up what the party says and say, yes, the left says so too. And so it took me a while to realize that. But while I was still with them, there was this, right in the beginning of March 2017, there was a Daily Kos conference in Death Valley on Russia spying on us. And so this got pitched to me like, would you be interested in going and camping out in Death Valley with these Daily Kos people that are very concerned about Russia spying on us? And I was like, well, yes, I would. I would love that. Because immediately I was like, what are these doofuses, you know? And I really went there with doofuses in my head, you know, like this is stupidity. And it couldn't be anything else. Now, after I went and came back and thought about it for a couple of years, it wasn't stupidity. They were working with other people. This was all part of a coordinated messaging campaign. But one of the things that they did, and one of the things that got me in trouble while I was out there, was we broke off into groups, and I went off with the media group, and they talked about their media plan for the next year, and you know what they were going to do. And I thought they were going to talk about supporting independent media or pitching stories or, you know, basic things you would do with media. What they said instead was, we have a plan to use teenage and pop culture influencers to boost our messaging. And I was like, well, that's not media. Why are you doing this thing that isn't media and calling it media? I mean, your Daily Kos, you're actually media. You should know the difference. And these people were so lined up behind this that they were like, well, we can't trust other media because there's fake news. And I said, well, you know, if it's a story that you're pitching, then you know it's not fake news. And, you know, their little brains got, you know, locked up, vapor locked. And at one point, one of the main Daily Kos people said to me, well, what we're really interested in is informational hygiene. And I was just like, whoa. That is
new.
some...
That's new. That's the first time I've heard that. I've heard content moderation, but informational hygiene.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like information can be a dirty disease vector. You know, it's kind of the same language we got with COVID.
Sterilizing the information.
That's interesting. Well, as Caitlin Johnstone said, they're not trying to protect you from misinformation. They're trying to protect you from information. That's what's happening.
And that's what's happened with the whole Sussman thing is, you know, it's not like you've seen this covered in mainstream media, and you haven't seen it covered much at all in left mainstream media, like the Jordan Sheridans and, you know, all TYT, Breaking Points, all of those people. They're not covering it. Why aren't they covering it? This is super freaking important. And really the only person who's stuck his neck out and stayed with the story is Aaron Mate. And, you know, major props to him. Like,
also H.A. Goodman, if you remember H.A. Goodman.
Oh my
from
God.
I do.
Oh my God.
Whatever happened to him?
He's still on like the Durham probe and Sussman stuff too.
Wow. I haven't heard that name in a very long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
But I can imagine why he would be interested in it. You know, because he's had that idea of the way that things went in 2016 since all the way back in 2016. And I think for a lot of us, you know, we're as we started getting information out of the Sussman trial, it was like, okay, well, like I said, you know, it's a checklist of stuff. You know, you just go down the list, and really the only thing left is the DNC hack, and that is Assange territory. You know, as soon as that
wasn't that the DNC fraud lawsuit that basically proved that all of that was correct, and their answer to it was, well, shut up, we can do what we want anyways.
We're a private corporation.
Right,
we can go in a back room, filter cigar smoke, and do whatever the fuck we want, and you have no recourse. Yes.
And by the way, that was Perkins Coie who was being sued, or, you know, part of the lawsuit. because they handled Hillary's victory fund, and Hillary's victory fund was the
slush fund.
The big slush fund. It's the way they laundered all this money, and it was the key to everything. And it was like super boring and super hard to explain, but that's what it was. And then you see where the Perkins Coie people peeled off of Perkins Coie and created their own law firm to specialize in election stuff. They did that for a reason, because they didn't want the Sussman stuff and anything that could fall out from that to splash back on Perkins Coie. So they Mark Elias peeled his part off, and then all of a sudden he's very interested in raising his profile about voter election protection, and the right to vote and all of this. I've never seen him do any kind of promotion of those ideas. He had always kept a really low profile. As soon as they started getting heat through this Sussman thing, he was right out there, just like, I'm a good guy, I'm like all for democracy and stuff,
Democracy.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. Now I've been I wish that I had a little bit more time to prepare and to go through, some of the things that we know and what we don't know. I just took a client on who so this timing is so terrible and so funny at the same time. I haven't been out of the house in 2 years, like literally. Like I've gone to the vet with the dogs and maybe gone to pick up prescriptions. I haven't done much. I started a garden. I had a client and I have to be over at his place like every day, and it started like 2 days ago. And it's like from 8 o'clock in the morning until, way late at night. And I haven't had the opportunity to stop and dig into what we know right now out of Sussman. So what I have to offer tonight is basically go to Mate's Substack, go to his Twitter feed, subscribe to his Substack, because that guy he's on his own. The only support that he's getting is really through his Substack, and he doesn't promote himself and he doesn't promote that. And I think that that's kind of a shame. But I'm the same way. I hate self-promotion.
Yes.
So I'm going to go and have a peek at his Twitter feed. Okay, so he did a call-in an hour ago on it. Wow. And he was live on Jimmy Dore's show. So he's starting to kind of.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I forgot Jimmy went live today.
Yeah. So he's kind of putting it together, and I would expect that he would have an article out like in the next 24 hours probably. But now the piece that he's been writing about in his Twitter feed is the Fusion GPS CrowdStrike piece. And this is the part that goes straight to the Julian Assange stuff. So anytime you see anybody talking about Fusion GPS and CrowdStrike, this is the piece where what we know now from Sussman is that those lawyers at Perkins Coie developed this idea that this is how we were going to, push Hillary Clinton and use Donald Trump as a foil. And they brought in CrowdStrike and told them what they were going to say. They told CrowdStrike to say, we found Russia breaking into our servers, and no, the FBI can't look at them themselves. So we're 100%. You're just going to have to read our report if you want to know anything about it, which is like, got to be a first in history in terms of, what the FBI decides it needs to see to enforce the law. And this is the part too, if you recall, and it gets really interesting. This is where the Seth Rich stuff comes in, because there's a lot of people who would like to know how that information got over to WikiLeaks. And this is another thing too. My husband mentioned this to me right before I came on. He said, one possible strategy for Assange could be to go to trial in the US. And I was like, yeah, that didn't work out so well in UK. But and he was like, at the very least, he would be able to tell his story and get discovery in the US. And I was like, yeah, well,
That's not how it works. He doesn't get to present a public interest defense. He really gets no defense whatsoever. It's not the same, and it's very much behind closed doors. It's not the same thing as like a court proceeding where you get open discovery. It's not like that in espionage court. He would not.
And they're not going to. They're not going to let that happen. But but this little piece, that what's the guy in New Zealand who did the mega upload?
Kim.com.
Kim.com. Kim.com has been basically telling this story now for years, that the Rich brothers, were looking for a way to transmit money across countries, and to get these files set up. And they had the meeting, not Kim.com, but the ex-diplomat to Uzbekistan. The hell is
Craig
his
Murray?
name? Yes, thank you. Craig Murray, yeah. Had the meeting over, in DC, pretty damn close to where Seth Rich lived,
Yeah.
Pretty damn close to where he died, as a matter of fact. So if we ever get a document or a piece of the story that is gonna solve some of these issues, it's gonna come as a little piece, as a little tidbit, and we need people like Aaron Mate putting it together to tell the story.
Kim.com's comments on May 13th, 2015. About the election.
What did he say?
And this is almost a year before Vault 7, I believe. Or not Vault 7, the DNC emails.
Okay.
Is my screen share up, Misty?
Hold on, I'm not on that screen. Hold, please.
I don't know if I shared with audio.
Oh.
We'll see. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Okay. Negative. Now I can.
No? It's quiet. Hold on. I'm bad at this.
Bam.
Boom.
Remember the start of the show?
Come on. I got it back up now.
Okay.
What about Julian Assange? What's your relationship with him?
So what Julian Assange is doing is putting a spotlight on all these secrets.
How often do you talk to him?
Why is that important to you?
I'm curious.
Look, I like these guys, I look up to them. I think they are very brave. They're going through a very hard time, and they chose to do that for the betterment of all of us. So yeah, I love to talk to them.
So you said you were going to bring the internet party to the US in 2016.
Yeah.
Why? What's your goal?
Well, because I think there's a big group of people out there that disagree with what's going on. They want to have their privacy back. They want to have internet freedom.
You tweeted that you were going to be Hillary's worst nightmare in 2016. How so?
Well, I have to say it's probably more Julian, but I'm aware of some of the things that are going to be roadblocks for her. So, if I can provide some transparency with these people and make them part of what the Internet Party stands for, then I will be happy to do that.
You're saying Julian Assange is going to be Hillary's worst nightmare in 2016.
I think so, yeah.
How so?
Well, he has access to information.
What information?
I don't know the specifics.
Why Hillary in particular?
Well, Hillary hates Julian. She is just an adversary of, I think, internet freedom.
And she signed your extradition request.
Yeah.
So you have a bone to pick with her.
The crazy thing is, I actually like Hillary. I like Obama. It's just so crazy that all of this happened.
Wow. Was that 2015 or 2013?
That was May 13th, 2015.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Kim. I hope he doesn't like Hillary or Obama anymore.
Right.
I was a little surprised, but not really though, because
Mhm.
he's kind of he it's not the first time he would say stuff like that, but no.
Wow.
I'm always impressed with his humanity. Like he has this deep, you can just sense it. He's not bullshitting about how much he cares about stuff. He actually does care. I was talking to someone today who said that, I think that those of us on the left, a lot of us come from what makes us leftists and what makes us left activists is some sort of trauma. That a lot of us have some kind of trauma in our past that put us on this justice, this road to justice, where that's very important to us. And I think he's absolutely right. I think that I can point to some traumas in my lifetime personally, but I gotta tell you, there is such a thing as social trauma, and this whole deal with Julian Assange and this whole deal with Sussman, the way that the country has been majorly lied to about Russiagate, and then that being carried on into what we were dealing with and everything else.
We need one of those, what are they called? Sleepy Josh always laughs at me because I can never remember. The little thing that you hook up to your computer, it makes the noises. What the fuck is it called?
Soundboard?
Yes, thank
yeah.
you. I am anonymous.
A sequencer, like so you can hit a button. I actually have a couple of buttons over here that I can hit. But
I have my sampler. I can play the Havana
That's
Syndrome noise for you on my keyboard.
That's it, sampler.
You can play some crickets? All right.
And I think that being lied to like this, it's a form of theft. These motherfuckers have stolen our ability to be ourselves, or stolen our ability to be honest to each other, and it didn't stop at one lie. It didn't stop at Russia. It didn't stop at the election. It's just carried on and gotten worse and worse.
It didn't start with Russia.
Right.
This has been going on.
Yep.
I mean, this is a generational thing that we have been lied to since inception of this country. There's no question about it. It's a sham. I mean, people are going to get pissed at me. There's going to be a lot of patriots out there who get really mad. This country is a sham. It's built on, shenanigans, y'all. I mean, absolutely. Human rights abuses, oppression, genocide, slavery. It's a sham. It's a fucking joke. And we need to just come to terms with that. We need to start over. We need to start over. It's completely corrupted. Straight to its core.
I think that kids these days, I think that young people are so much more tuned into this than people who are old people like me. I graduated in 1984, and I was organizing in college and stuff like that. You couldn't get anybody to do anything with you except for maybe like bands, like people in the music scene
Mhm.
would back you up, and then you had like the punk guys and the hippies. You could always count on the punks and the hippies to like help you out, but nobody cared about things. Nobody cared about issues until pretty freaking recently. I think a lot of people voted for Obama thinking that he was going to solve a lot of problems, and then when he didn't, they were like, oh, well, this is on us now. We and when I first started seeing people with like hammers and sickles in their handles, I was like, okay, half of them have to be half of them have to be cops. Like that's the first place my mind goes. But then the other half have to be people who have their back so far against the wall, talking about this trauma thing, have their back so against the wall that they've looked and they've searched, and this is the answer that they've come up with, that it's capitalism, and that capitalism is what is making our lives miserable, and we have to let go of those chains, unfetter ourselves. And I just feel like what all of this has wrought is and actually is rotting is exactly the Sussman stuff. I can't believe he was acquitted. I can't believe how
I can't either. I cannot either. This dude went to the FBI and lied, straight up lied about Trump having some kind of connections to oh shit, what's it called? Alpha Bank in Russia. Lied, straight up lied, like just really horrible information. Lied to the FBI and did so while working for the Hillary Clinton campaign. And we know this because he billed the campaign for the hours he spent doing this thing with the FBI.
Ooh la la.
And he got acquitted. He got acquitted. But on the jury, as Brooks said earlier, on the jury, there was a major Hillary Clinton donor, a major AOC donor. One of the ladies' daughters is on the same crew team as Sussman's daughter.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. I mean,
So
ridiculous.
The other thing is, if you look at the trials of the time, right, you had Manafort, Roger Stone, and a couple other, right? Roger Stone, I think that's right.
Yes.
And a few others that were actually put into prison around this issue and actually suffered real time for like perjury and lying to the FBI and a bunch of other like crimes that couldn't have happened if this one had happened. Right? Like if this one wouldn't have gone down, like if the Sussman shit hadn't started and sparked all of Russiagate, there wouldn't have been those prosecutions. Against one of them is an American general, and the other one's like the dorkiest journalist in the whole world that made lobbying legal, Roger Stone. So
Dude, did you just call Roger Stone a journalist? Take it back right now.
A dorky journalist.
Oh, dude, he's such a little tool. He really is just opportunist. That's what he is.
He's literally the reason lobbying exists in the form that it does. It's straight his fault.
And he tried to fuck over Randy Credico, and I don't appreciate that.
Oh yeah, that's not allowed. No. Wow, I didn't know that actually about Roger Stone. The funny thing about him in Florida is that lots of big wheels in the Democratic Party have played with Roger Stone for decades, and they'll never admit it. But once people are in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale down to Miami, and you're of a certain income bracket, there's no left and right. There's no it's all us and them, and they're the us, and they're the people with money, and we're the them who are who they're pushing out essentially. And where all this is going to, it might sound like what we're talking about is, the particulars of a trial. It might seem like it's just like about these little details and, finding the one little tiny smoking gun. But if you look at it from the other direction, kind of turn it around, and we started it at this lie with Russiagate, and then that lie became this thing with Trump and became this thing with COVID. Now we're in a proxy war with Russia, and we're actually literally talking about using nuclear weapons and having a full-blown war with Russia. So, I mean, these lies are compounding and compounding in a way that makes Greek tragedy just look like,
Well,
advertising
the other
copy.
thing that was happening at the same time as Russiagate was like the QAnon Trump's coming to save the world cult that was happening
Yeah.
at like parallel to it.
That was a
That
weird
were
time.
both justifying the same things, like the military engagements in Syria, the spreading of the intelligence community, because one side was going to fight the deep state and the other side was going to fight the Russians, and everybody funded the NSA. It was wonderful, and we signed the Patriot Act because they were going to get them, and you can't close Guantanamo Bay because John McCain's there, right? Like all of the shit that people bought from the other side of the spectrum is just as like politically disenfranchising to then be like, yeah, I guess that was all bullshit. Like, where does that leave that person?
Yeah.
As much as the Russiagator that even gets exposed to the Sussman trials, right, because of the walls of censorship. So that's where you have like
All
these
of politics is a
political
show.
vigilante people that feel like, I don't know what's left to do in the world but be mad.
Yeah. All of
that's
politics
a
is
good
show.
point.
It's a sham. All of it. It's all a sham. Neither side gives a shit. They're never going to fight. It's like Anthony Albanese. We're talking about this dude as in the run up to his election. He's talking all kinds of big game about how he supports Julian Assange. The minute he gets elected, suddenly we got to be quiet. We got to handle this behind closed doors. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you. That's not that. No, I got a megaphone you can borrow, fam. Use it. You can use it. It's ridiculous, but they all do that.
It's the same thing with Force the Vote. You don't hear anybody talk about healthcare anymore or Medicare for all, and that was all anybody
shout
cared
out
about.
to them. I think it's the end of July 30th.
July
maybe.
30th.
They're
We should organize something
organizing,
around
they
that.
started the March for Medicare for All outside of the Force the Vote organization.
Yeah.
Nice.
More or less, right?
Andrew,
And-
we need to organize something around that.
Yeah.
Like the 29th or something. We need to do something.
Well,
we need to do something. We can combine forces, homie.
But,
That's what
so
we do.
there are still pockets of people that want universal health care that don't want Anthony Fauci running the world. Like,
Right.
There's still those people that exist.
Yeah.
I kind of interrupted my own thought on how brilliant I think what you were saying is the QAnon. So I think what you're saying is that the Q people, the people who bought into that. I'm kind of feeling a parallel of them with the people who bought into the Obama magic, you know.
Absolutely.
And
it was the same justification that they used throughout the whole thing too, to explain why he couldn't do it. Oh, well, he's just one man, or how could he pass this if this one person stood in the way? Like making like Shinigamis to justify
hi, Jack.
something shouldn't happen.
Hi, Jack.
Katie, Katie.
Sorry, you can continue. I apologize.
It's hard to stay focused when there's such a beautiful cat. Like
that's my Jack. I love
Jack,
her.
Jack.
I love Jack.
Oh. Well, so what
He's about to go nuts.
what I'm kind of hoping for is, a lot of people woke up after Obama. I know a lot of Democrats did. I know I woke up about 2009 about Obama. I didn't really think from the beginning that he was everything that they were, chalking him up to be, but definitely by the time they were negotiating healthcare, I was like, okay, this is not going well. That created a lot of activists on the left who then became
I'm sorry. Sorry.
And
It keeps making me yawn.
And you know, if enough of us get pissed off who are you know, on the left and on the right, if enough of us get pissed off and, you know, say screw it to both sides, then something interesting could actually happen. And I think you get the same level of had it, you know, we've just had it with these people, and you get the same level of that on both sides. I mean, we'll see what happens. No, Mickey Konst got called out on Twitter. What was that about? I just
She's
saw the
running for
Vanguard.
fucking state senate.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
Yes, she is. She sure is.
So I've decided, as Cy Oppenheimer, I'm gonna have to make some attack ads going at her for not supporting the establishment enough and for her radical Marxist views.
Nice.
And stuff like that. So, which she actually follows me, so we're gonna have fun.
What does she follow
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been blocked for fucking ages.
Yeah.
Like 2016 probably.
What year was it? Was it 2018?
Have you seen this face,
where she got
Misty?
thrown
How could
off
you
her own
unfollow this
voter
face?
rolls?
Come on.
What?
When did that happen? Where she was a member of the DNC
Of the
and
committee.
they threw her off the voter rolls in New York when she went to vote in
Yes.
the primary.
Yes, she
Yeah,
did get thrown off
and
the voter
she's still
rolls.
over there fucking just lapping up that
Yep.
milk. Like, oh, I don't even get to vote in this. Like, okay, I'll sell
Go
it
blue
for
no
you,
matter
though.
who, baby. You gotta support the Democrats.
Yep.
They might throw me off the voter rolls, but we still gotta support the Democrats.
But
She's
so
terrible.
back to the like Sussman era kind of stuff. Like, I'm excited because the next thing back is like the Awan brothers scandal.
Yeah. Holy
That's
shit.
like the next.
We
like,
should
if you
do a
can-
whole
if we can
ass
get
show on
past
that.
we have the Awan brothers and all of the Democrats' information getting sold to Pakistan because
Yes,
it's
can we
so
do a show?
intimately close.
Let's do a show. Can we do a show? Let's find somebody who knows a lot about
Tim
that.
Canova.
Let's go, Tim.
Tim Canova like
Let's
knows
go.
like almost every detail of that.
I need
That
to
was
get him
like
on my radio show. He'd come on, right? He'd probably come on. He's kind of quiet in the group chat now, but I think we're a
he's
little
still
too
there.
crazy
If you
for him.
message him,
He's there. Every once in a while he pops in. I think we're a little too crazy for Tim. I don't blame him.
I think
that's something that I want to know if I can't remember his name, the guy running against Nancy Pelosi.
Shahid Buttar. Love him.
Yeah, Shahid Buttar. I just want to know if he would be willing to go down like that. Like if he would be willing to talk to someone about the Awan brothers scandal. Because that's like directly in the face of the Democratic demon, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure Shahid. I mean, I don't know. I don't know him that well. I will say, I'm not an electoral politics person, but there are people who are running for office that I very much enjoy, and Shahid is a legitimate like streets activist.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's been in it for a long time. And he seems, I mean, I could be wrong, but he seems like he's in it for the genuine right reasons. I just disagree wholeheartedly with the approach of running for office, especially running in the Democratic Party. That's a disagreement of tactics. That's all. I whole like entirely with everything in my being disagree with using electoral politics. People keep trying to convince me otherwise.
It's a trap.
It's happening right now on
we should
Twitter.
all
Somebody's
pick
in my
one
Twitter
state
mentions
move
trying to convince me.
and
Huh?
take over. We should all pick one state to move to and run for either
Ohio's
state
cheap
house
as
or
fuck.
state senate and just
Ohio's
take that
cheap as
shit
fuck.
over.
It's cheap
Like
to
that
live
would
here.
be.
It is really cheap to live here. Sleepy Josh might be coming. Let's go, Sleepy Josh.
I'm down. We should take over Ohio. That would be.
I mean, it kind of sucks to live here, but it is cheap as fuck.
It's super cheap, especially depending where you're at, because of all like the environmental sacrifice zones and stuff.
Didn't a lot of people from
That sounds lovely. I might have to move.
Somebody
Over
should
there
make that.
fracking
Make
pits
an
down in the
ad.
south.
Dude, Jesse, make an ad. You know those ads for like Ohio, like
Yeah.
you know, the tourism one. Make one.
You've seen the old song, right? The fun times in Cleveland again. It's Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Come on down to Cleveland town, everyone. Come and look at both of our buildings. Here's a river that catches on fire. Oh, so good.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
What was one of the lines was buy a home for the price of a VCR.
Oh my God.
I mean, That's not that far off.
No, it's not.
Not
I
that far.
mean,
It's
nowadays
Detroit.
after
What was
inflation,
another
it's
one?
probably more like
The
a Blu-ray
flats look
player.
No,
like
it
a
is-
Scooby Doo ghost town. That was another
Prices
great
have
line.
definitely gone up, but I will say buying a house is still cheaper. Rent
God
right
damn.
now is ridiculous. I have a friend at the gym actually who her rent's $1,000 right now. Her lease is up in August. If she renews her lease, it stays at $1,300. But she's trying to buy a house. So if she doesn't renew her lease and she goes month to month, it's going to $1,600. So it's either going to get raised $300 and she has to sign a new 1-year lease, or she is going to have to go month to month at $1,600. That's one hell of an increase, and for 700 square feet. For 700 fucking square feet.
Oh my God.
What the fuck? Like, that's
How can
crazy.
people afford that?
She can't.
Yeah, that's
can't.
right. That's right.
She
Nobody
cannot.
can afford that.
No, she cannot. She's a
Mm-mm.
hairdresser. Like, she does hair. She works in a salon. Like, no, she can't afford that. So she's trying to buy a house because buying a house right now in Ohio is much cheaper than trying to rent. Much. It's ridiculous.
The rent is
ridiculous.
too fucking high.
It's only going to be that way for a little while, though, because Andrew's right. The inflation, we're seeing it across the country already. House prices are going up. It's just slow to come to Ohio. It's still, you could still probably get in there for a decent price right now, but it's not going to last forever.
Yeah, everyone move to Ohio. We'll take over the world.
There's some beautiful country in Ohio. I used to live in
It's
East
not
Tennessee, and it's just I love the mountains. I love that whole, like, little chain of the Ohio Valley, and it's just gorgeous.
It's not bad. I give it
what
a
do
lot of shit, but it's not bad.
What do you think is going to happen with these house prices? Do you think we're going to see a bust like in 2008, 2009?
I think BlackRock's going to buy all the houses,
They
and we're
already
going to
are.
have to either get people to rent strike if they are living there, and then burn down the vacant ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
Jesus, Andrew, hang on. Say that again slower. Can you just?
So we own our house. Well, I mean, we're paying for our house, but we own, you know what I mean? We own our house, and we get calls and text messages all the fucking time of some
Wow.
corporation who wants to buy our house from us.
Wow.
All the time. All the time. That's what they're doing across the country. They just cold call people and like, hey, you want to sell your house? We're going to give you cash. We'll give you cash right now. It'll be way under what your house is worth, but they're going to give you cash. And when people are in they're having financial difficulties, a lot more people are willing to sell for way cheaper than they should. And BlackRock is just hoovering up all of the houses, just like Bill Gates is hoovering up all of the fucking farmland.
Our house. Okay, let me do the math really quick. My husband bought this before we met. He bought this house, 1,400 square feet, and I believe it was $240, and it was in like 2006 at the height of the market. And I was like, Jesus Christ, you bought at the height of the market? That's almost a deal killer for a relationship. Who buys at the height of the market? But $240. And a tiny little starter house. I mean, like it's just your basic, and it immediately lost $60,000 in equity or whatever. So we got back into like 180 territory. Sat there for years. 180 is about what this house would be worth. All of a sudden, we see Zillow saying that our house is like 375. Like out of nowhere, I'm like, and the reason why I like this neighborhood is it's young families, it's just regular working people, and it's the kind of place where people can have their first home. And I don't know who can afford a first home that is 375 or 400 on Orlando wages.
Yeah.
We have the lowest wages in almost anywhere because of the attractions, which pay nothing.
But that's the World Economic Forum's method of you'll own nothing and be happy. Right? Like you'll live in a suburb, you'll take an Uber to work, you'll rent your house.
You will eat bugs and you will like it.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. I remember a few years ago, back when this was many years ago, back when I used to listen to NPR, and I had it on in the house, was Marketplace, and there was a story about how maybe people just won't own houses anymore.
Yeah.
And my husband heard that and he's never let go of it. He's like, that was evil. They knew what was going on back then. And like, we're the furthest thing from, you know, property rights, freaking libertarians as you can get. But come on, regular people owning a house. No, that's what Americans do. We own a house and we drive things places. Yeah.
I mean, it was Eugene Debs said gold is the like currency of the working class. Like that's something that protects us against what institutions are doing now with fractional reserve banking.
Not owning anything really. So like, I remember when I was younger and I didn't own anything and didn't have any debt or whatever, you know, there was real freedom in that. But as you get older, having you got to have a place to call your own. You know, it's so freaking alienating. The client that I was working with today has a bunch of kids graduating. 3 are graduating college and 2 are getting ready to graduate high school. And he says, you know, these kids, they're so depressed about graduating and getting out in the world, and he isn't that sympathetic because he's like a boomer age. And I'm like, do you understand how hard kids have it right now? They're getting out into one of the worst job markets it's ever been. Everything's super expensive. You can't look forward to having a family, or at least having a family and not really being hard. I don't know how people do it. And you know, the way that I did it was I had 7 roommates for way up until like my 30s. Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
I would not want to be a young person right now
No.
trying to make those decisions.
No. Can you imagine? I feel so bad for like the Zoomers. Holy shit.
I know.
I just hope more of them turn out like Glory Jones.
Yeah.
Because as long as
that'd
they're
be
able
cool.
to identify the issues, they'll be able to solve the problems that they see in the world.
Yep.
You know, 'cause that's the hope, is that those people just are able to access information well enough to be able to solve what they see as problems. You know, because that's all that we're trying to do. Like all of us here is, you know.
Yeah.
But
You
we
know,
do
the
have
thing-
to start closing out. I do want to thank you
Yes,
very much for
I'm
joining
tired.
us, Brooke. I really appreciate you coming on the visit.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It
This
was
is
cool to have you on.
Seriously, it was so
a
much
lot
fun.
of fun. And I'm gonna play this back so I can hear Jesse's poem again, because I'm just like that.
Thank you.
I was getting like a lump in my throat, you know, knowing I was getting ready to go. I was like, okay, some water.
That's the Jesse effect. Every time he comes on, that's like I'm always like dumbfounded or.
And what's
yeah.
funny, you know, I wrote that, and then I wrote another new piece like 3 days later.
Of course.
And that one's like really explosive. And so in my head, that 2 and 20 was just a little bit tamer. And then reading it tonight, I'm like, this isn't tame. No.
No. When's the next album out, dude? I need another album. We need
Soon.
another
I mean,
album.
again, I went from being a little over the halfway mark in recording to then I wrote like 6
A
more
bunch of
things.
stuff.
And
Yeah,
so now
but
I'm almost to the
focus.
halfway point again.
Focus.
I had tried not to write the other piece. And then I was like mowing, and it was just like I had a few lines in my head, and I was like, okay, I can't throw this rhyme scheme away. I've got to keep it. And then, yeah,
Dude,
menial
mowing
tasks,
is
man.
so-
It's so hard to not write. So
I know, creative juices when you're mowing. I'm serious.
Yep.
Mowing is.
And then
the
I hit this point in the rhyme scheme where it's like I could make a really stellar Taylor Swift reference. I was like, I have to. Now I've got to do it. So then and we went from there. So
You can't pass up the Taylor Swift reference.
Right,
man.
exactly.
That's like,
we got Taylor Swift, we got Anthony Blinken. We're all over in this one.
all right.
Holy shit.
Right.
Like the combo there.
Mhm.
Okay. Brooke, tell us where everybody can find you, all that good stuff.
Right there, my name at Nashville Brooke. That is the best place to get me. I basically spend most of my time on Twitter. I've been taking a little break from podcasting, and I keep thinking I might start something up again, but it looks like it's going to be after this election cycle because I've got clients, which is like having
Come on my
diseases.
radio show. Come on my radio show.
Yeah,
Do it.
love to.
I'll hit you up in the DMs.
Okay.
I'll slide on in.
Awesome.
Okay, Jesse, do you want to tell everybody? I know my yawn's contagious. I keep yawning. Jesse got me started, and once I start yawning, it's like I can't stop. So it's Jesse's fault. Blame Jesse, not me. All right, Jesse, where can we find you?
Oh, the Bandcamp, Twitter.
Bandcamp.
I do my show every other Tuesday. We just did our Barack Obama episode last night. Yeah, that's about it. And then as soon as I can, I'll have that record finished.
Yes, please.
Cool.
Please and thank you. We can do another album release party. I like those.
Yeah.
I'm Missy. You can find me on Twitter at Sarcasm Stardust. It's been a long time since I had to do this, and I don't like it any more now than I did then. I hate doing this. I don't like it. You can find me on TNT Radio though, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6. It's a little stressful. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of fucking shows. Tomorrow I have who the fuck do I have? Alex Vitale. We're gonna talk about the end of policing. I'm down for that. Let's go. Elias Cepeda. I hope I'm saying that right. And who the fuck else? Hold on.
Oh yeah. I really like Ellie.
Diane Sayre from she's an independent candidate in New York. Andrew booked that for me actually.
Yeah, she's a LaRoucheite.
Yeah. And then not tomorrow. Friday I have Ryan Christian and Trevor Fitzgibbon. Who do you have Friday at 5, Andrew?
Prince. He's a like inner city organizer in Cincinnati.
Okay, cool. And then I have some other cool people coming. Juan Pastorelli, like I said, is going to be on June 7th. Franco's coming back on June 7th too, the 5 o'clock hour. Let's see. I don't know, a bunch of fucking people. Tara Reid's coming back. She's going to start doing her Friday. She was doing Fridays at 4, then she needed a couple weeks off, so she'll be back not like this Friday, but next Friday. But yeah, there's cool people coming up. And TNT doesn't censor me at all. Zero. Nothing. I'm not a word is well, I will say this. Orf came on, Matt Orfla came on, and I'm not lying. I think I'm exaggerating a little bit. I wish somebody would go count, but he dropped the F-bomb like 982 times in an hour. And they were like, we're pretty chill about that, but maybe that was a little excessive. Yeah, I get that. So, I mean, they are pretty chill about, language for the most part, but he really just went on. It was like shadow ban. Every third word was fuck.
That's so on brand.
Yeah. So, and I love Matt, but yeah, that's the only time, the only thing they've ever said to me. And it was just, maybe that was a little excessive. So, yeah, it's a good time though. I like TNT. They, I don't agree with everything that everybody says on there, but that's okay. They don't tell me what to say, so I don't give a fuck. Once they start coming at me with notes, like you should probably talk about this or not talk about, then we're done. For sure.
So
I don't think that's gonna happen though.
So in the A4A chat and on the Rockfin chat, I just dropped a bunch of links for the calls to action. Purdy Patel has until June 19th to rule on Julian's case, whether or not he's going to be extradited. If you could reach out to those people, there's a plethora of different forms. You have Ron Paul, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene with the zip code thing in there already, so you get around her website restrictions. The county offices for the people politically under Purdy Patel, as well as a whole list of the elected Conservative Party councilors throughout all of the districts that she rules over. So reach out to those people. I think that's a fun way to apply political pressure, because everyone tries to push at the top, but what can we do from the bottom, I guess. So please just reach out to those people if you get a moment. I think it's a good way, and keep applying pressure if you're going through the calls to action for phone calls and things like that. But one more shout out I did want to give somebody, and I'm sure we'll pull the article up eventually, but there was a Harvard protest in Boston.
Yes!
Merrick Garland was giving a speech. And shout out to Paula and all the other organizers that helped pull that together, because that was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
So much
I
love
shouted
to
them out on the radio show. Also, another quick shout out to Joe, STFU liberal or shitlib, on Twitter, the one that made our intro video, which is dope, so good. So thanks to him for making that for us. I appreciate it. Thanks for that.
But my name is Andrew Smith. You can follow me at Twitter at Andrew Zigman. You can follow us at action_4 Assange. I just thank everybody for joining us.
Yay! It's good to be back. We love you guys. It's good to be back. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you next
Thank
week.
you.
Bye.
Bye.